The governments of Arizona and Sonora have labeled this area as a mega region, a system of economies supporting each other. At a recent binational summit, the governments agreed to continue collaborating with one another, despite what's being talked about at the national level. I recently spoke with Juan Ciscomani. He's Governor Doug Ducey's senior advisor for regional and international affairs.
It's extremely important. Mexico is by far our #1 trading partner, ×4. So it's not even close for the second one. When we look at the trade that we do with Mexico and you break it down in exports and imports, over $8 billion is what we do in exports with Mexico, and just around 7.2 billion in imports. So we export more than we import. In this relationship, Arizona wins. And just to put it in perspective, Mexico trades more with Arizona than they do with the entire country of Germany. So we are a key partner for them as they are to us. So the mutual, the combined, I would say, import and export relationship with Mexico almost reaches $16 billion for the state. Huge. It's responsible for creating about 100,000 jobs directly here in the state of Arizona, plus the indirect jobs that it does as well. So the numbers prove it. This is an important relationship economically and trade and also cultural that we have with Mexico.
Some of the talking points that came out were the fact that regardless of what is happening on the national scale, it seems like Arizona and Mexico will continue to work together.
Yeah, we will continue this. We're not turning back. We will continue the course. This has been a priority for the governor since day one. His first international mission trip was to Mexico City 5-6 months after he was in office, and which is what opened the door to the kind of relationship we have now. At that point, Governor Pavlovich hadn't been elected yet. But as soon as she was elected, the governor gave her a call, and that started with a great relationship, which became a partnership and is now a friendship. And that kind of relationship that we enjoy, we're not going to turn back on. It's important for the state, but it's also important for our overall relationship. The governor always says, as he says, relationships matter. And the stronger we keep them, the better prepared we are to face the challenges. So the national environment and the national message that is going out there would affect us if we didn't have established relationships the way we do.
How does the governor handle, we have a Republican president who's not particularly enthused about the relationship with Mexico, a Republican governor who's pushing for it. So where is that balance?
Well, the governor is strong in believing in the role of governors and states. And each state sets their own tone with the relationship with Mexico, because we have the ability to trade with them directly, which is great. So the governor has been very strong on keeping a positive and open relationship with the White House, and at the same time, reassuring our friends in Mexico that Arizona is open for business. We are open. We want to continue this relationship, and we want to continue to attract companies, as we've been attracting them from California and other states that we're competing with. We want to make sure that our companies here in Arizona have the ability to do business and trade with our companies in Mexico. So there's a very specific role for the state government to play here. The private sector plays a key role, and they've done that, and they've done very well. But there's also a point where we need the governor's input and leadership and platform to say, hey, we're open, and that attracts business.
Are there contingencies in place should NAFTA undergo some sort of change?
Well, sure. What we trust is that we have a seat at the table with the White House as they look at this issue. The governor has been invited to different national platforms, big national platforms like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Woodrow Institute, Mexico Center, and he's being recognized and acknowledged and tapped as that trade governor. The governor has been able to, as you said, being from the Republican Party, and maintained a good positive relationship with the White House and also with Mexico. Those are not mutually exclusive. We can keep a good relationship with both, and the governor has been very strong on promoting that with Mexico, and we hope that that's an example of what other states can do as well, especially as we carry on with Sonora, that is our #1 and main partner within Mexico. But as we have the Arizona-Mexico Commission, that's exactly what that is, the Arizona entire Mexico Commission. So we want to move also beyond Sonora, because there's a lot of opportunity with Mexico.
One of the big headlines that came out of the summit was the port of Rocky Point.
Yes.
How close is that to being completed?
The port is about 50% done. This port was started by the previous administration in Sonora. It went through some trouble there and just was stopped for a little bit, but now they're continuing under the leadership of Governor Pavlovich. She has great relationships with her federal side as well, and that's what's helped speed up the port conversation. This is a great opportunity for the region, Lorraine, because they are going to be attracting hundreds of cruise ships into that region. What that means is we're promoting the two-nation destination. They can go to Rocky Point, unload the cruise ships there. Our people also can go down and catch the cruise ships there. But in the aspect of trade, Hermosillo, which is the main capital of Sonora, the capital of Sonora and main city, it's about 6 hours away from Rocky Point. Phoenix is 3 hours away from Rocky Point. So when they look at their supply for anything the cruise ships are going to need, from tablecloths to service to any of that, they're looking at us to do that. So this is a great opportunity for Arizona companies to be suppliers for this expansion of the port. And then we signed an MOU with Sonora about this. The governor is committing to work together to co-promote this cruise ship port and form working groups from transportation, tourism, and economic development of how we can push this. Sonora takes that document, goes to Mexico City and says, this is the agreement we have. Let's speed up the money that is already allocated for this project, because they need the federal input and finances to complete this project. But with the document that we signed last week, that's what they take over to say, we're getting there, let's push this money down.
Is the infrastructure in place, though, in Mexico and here in Arizona to sustain this type of commerce?
Great question. There are several points there. First of all, the port of Lukeville in Sonoita, which is the point that we cross to go to Rocky Point. We've invested millions of dollars on the Arizona side to widen the lanes once you cross into the U.S. side. Mexico sees that, and Sonora acknowledges that we've made an investment, and they need to make some investments on their side as well. The travel time to Rocky Point, it's over 2 hours on the Arizona side and a little less than an hour on the Mexico side. So the majority of the road travel is going to be on our side for Rocky Point. They have that investment to make, which is part of the request that they have for the federal government. So these are the kind of agreements that the governors meet about and say, this is where we're at, how can we continue to push this forward?
What's about to happen in Arizona that suddenly there's this push, there's this economic strength that's really binational to create cargo and commerce that's going to be flowing freely across the border?
Sure. I think, again, it starts at the top with leadership of Governor Ducey and saying Arizona's open for business. This wasn't just a campaign slogan. It wasn't just something that we wanted to get people excited about. It's something that he's living day to day, and the administration is fully focused on that. I can tell you by being part of a senior staff that whatever we do, whatever lens that we look at, the entire situation is going to be about how do we create jobs? How do we improve workforce development? How do we improve education? How do we strengthen the livelihood of our citizens in Arizona? And that message is out there. The governor's out there promoting it in California and other states, even in Texas, winning projects over to come to Arizona because of the good business climate, low regulation that we've been tackling, and quite frankly, the resources that we have by having Sonora as our good partner and a neighbor in the entire country. All that is just positive messages. And then we also have the policy to back it up. That's a very powerful combination that we enjoy in Arizona. This is our time. This is Arizona's time. No question about it, and we're taking full advantage of it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.